Did you just watch history wink at tradition? Jordan Love rolled his shoulders, flicked his eyes downfield like a man who said the same prayer 100 times and finally heard an answer. By the time that streak, 20 straight completions, ended, the scoreboard said Green Bay Packers 35, Pittsburgh Steelers 25, and the night had the strange, delicious feeling of a handing off ceremony that nobody RSVP'd for. Reuters. You remember the narrative. Brett Favre taught Aaron Rodgers what it means to sling a football and defy logic. Aaron Rodgers taught Jordan Love how to keep faith in film rooms and off-season reps. And now, standing beneath the stadium lights, Jordan Love stared down a version of his own history and tied one of Brett Favre's long-standing franchise marks while putting Aaron Rodgers on the other sideline, hands in pockets, watching his former stomping grounds decide which legend it wants to be next. Favre even took to X to send a short, perfect note. Congratulations to Jordan Love for his 20 straight completions in a row and the Packers on the big win last night. X, formerly Twitter. Let's not reduce this night to a highlight reel. This was a story with texture. The first half played like a game of greasy hands and missed connection. Green Bay trailing, offense sputtering, the kind of stuff that makes even confident teams taste their own doubt. Then Jordan Love hit a gear that looked borrowed from the playbook of every quarterback who ever stood tall when the lights got loud. He finished the night 29 for 37, 360 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and no turnovers. It was efficient, it was beautiful, and it was loud enough to wake the rest of the league. Reuters, here's why that matters beyond the box score. 20 straight completions in an NFL game is not a fluke. It's a sustained sense of trust between a quarterback and his playbook. It means 3 things happened at the same time. The pocket held up, receivers won their routes under duress, and the quarterback trusted his reads enough to let his arm do the talking. When a young quarterback ties a mark set by Brett Favre, who is a walking highlight reel with a dash of mythical fog around him, the optics are chaotic in the best possible way. CBS Sports think back to Jordan Love's playoff debut, that wild January night against the Dallas Cowboys. He threw 3 touchdowns, flirted with a perfect passer rating, and made an entire stadium question what it thought it knew about him. That game wasn't a one-off miracle. It was a signpost. Tonight's showing felt like Love blowing past that signpost and writing a new line in the soil. The way he handled pressure, the timing, the anticipation, that playoff flash had matured into full daylight. ESPN.com, and then there's the emotional geometry of this match. Aaron Rodgers, wearing Pittsburgh Steelers black and gold on the opposite sideline of the team that built him. He watched his successor not only beat his old clubhouse's rival, but do so with a performance that looked eerily familiar. The pre-snap confidence, the timing, the halftime adjustments. People will call it passing the torch, and yes, it reads clean in a headline, but the truth is messier and more interesting. It's a lineage. Favre to Rodgers, Rodgers to Love. Different hands, same hunger. ESPN.com. Let's hit the film room moment. Watch the way Love used eyes and movement to manipulate the Steelers' secondary. He didn't blaze past them with elite speed, he used rhythm. Short to intermediate completions that push the chains, then one blow-up play to remind defenses the deep ball is a threat. The sequence where he completed 20 in a row? That's not a lucky streak. That's game theory in action. A quarterback reads the coverage, the offensive line buys a sliver of time, the receiver creates half a yard of separation, and the ball meets hands on command. It's calm violence. Reuters. Let's be honest, the emotional overhead of beating Aaron Rodgers in his first season with the Pittsburgh Steelers is enormous. It's not just a win. It's a headline that writes itself into every offseason narrative. For Rodgers, who played 18 seasons and built a legacy in Green Bay, this was a homecoming with a twist. For Packers fans, it was a validation. The franchise identity, the Green Bay way, is resilient. And for Jordan Love, it's a moment that doesn't merely belong in a tweet or a soundbite. It's a stone in the foundation of his career. Reuters. Now let's talk stakes. This performance signals that Jordan Love isn't just a beneficiary of a system. He's an instigator. The NFL is a league that rewards consistency. And tonight's 20 completion run amounts to a mini season's worth of clinical execution compressed into a single defining stretch. If you're a defensive coordinator planning for Green Bay next week, you don't just game plan for one arm, you plan for rhythm, for the short game that opens the long game. That's a different kind of danger. Reuters Murphy. But don't let the poetry cloud the practicality. Records matter because they freeze a moment. Favre's 20 completion run was a headline for a reason. It showed mastery. Love tying that mark is a proof of concept. Talent plus system plus temperament equals elite moments. And yes, there's a difference between tying and surpassing. The real test is what comes next. The ability to follow up, to make the league adjust, to handle the pressure that comes with every headline. The mic gets heavier after that first wow performance. CBS Sports, here's the human detail that makes headlines humane. After the game, there was respect in the small things. Nods, handshakes, a brief embrace. Gestures that say more than columns and hot takes ever can. Brett Favre's congratulatory post was short and unvarnished. It read like a genuine note from one quarterback to another, the kind of message that closes the circle and lets legacy and newness live on the same field without the need for a throne room proclamation. X, formerly Twitter. Bottom line, Jordan Love just gave Green Bay and the NFL a night that will get replayed in different contexts for weeks. It was a statement that combined the flash of early promise with the discipline of late career polish. He didn't just score points, he made a persuasive argument that he belongs in the conversation with the franchise's greats. Whether he climbs higher will depend on resilience, adjustments, and how he responds when teams begin to scheme specifically against that rhythm. For now, though, he's earned the right to the narrative. Reuters. So, when you scroll tomorrow and see the same clips labeled passing of the torch, remember this. Torches don't decide who carries them. People do. Jordan Love tied a record tonight, yes. He also carried forward a philosophy that started with Ron Wolf, filtered through Ted Thompson and Brian Gutekunst, and found new life in a young quarterback who kept his composure when a stadium and an entire football lineage watched. The final play of the night didn't just end a streak. It introduced a new chapter that promises footnotes, footwork, and eventually perhaps another headline that's bigger than this one. w.wba.com. Remember the image, a replay camera on Jordan Love's calm face, a shot of Aaron Rodgers watching from the other sideline, and a quiet message from Brett Favre on social media. Short, classy, and real. That's the picture you'll carry. History smiling at possibility, and a young quarterback writing his name into the margins of an already storied book. Jordan Love didn't just beat Aaron Rodgers on Sunday night, he made a statement. The Packers roared back in the second half and walked out of Pittsburgh with a 35-25 win. And Love was the engine. 29 of 37 passing for 360 yards and 3 touchdowns, dismantling the Steelers when it mattered most. What sharpens the moment into history is this. Love completed 20 straight passes in that game, tying a franchise mark first set by Brett Favre back in 2007. That's not a cute stat. It's a milestone that links 3 generations of Packers quarterbacks. Favre, Rodgers, and now Love. Favre himself posted a simple, classy congratulations on X. Congratulations to Jordan Love for his 20 straight completions in a row and the Packers on the big win last night. That endorsement matters. It's validation from the guy whose name is stamped all over the team's record book. Packers, let's be blunt. Tying Favre's streak is the kind of thing that changes the tone of the conversation overnight. People already respected Love. He's been efficient and steady, but this performance elevated him from promising to proven in the moment. Completing 20 straight passes in an NFL game requires timing, chemistry, and quick decision-making. It's a blend of precision and trust between QB and offense. Love ran that blend perfectly Sunday, and the Packers punished the Steelers for every lapse. Yahoo Tetao, now the counterpoint, Aaron Rodgers. He's 41, he's still sharp at times, and he put up 219 yards and 2 touchdowns. But this game highlighted how different their seasons look, and how the narrative around Rodgers, the veteran playing one last very public chapter, can flip on one night. Rodgers' team fell apart in the second half, while Love tightened every screw. The optics are brutal. The old guy who built his legend here versus the young successor who's now taking the franchise's next step. Fans eat that drama for breakfast. The Washington Post. There's also a human detail that tells you as much as the box score. After the final whistle, Rodgers and Love met at midfield. Rodgers didn't throw shade. He signed a jersey for Love in the locker room area, paused, and then walked away. Small gestures that say more than hot takes. Rodgers' parting words captured it. Good game, brother. Love you, brother. Keep balling. That moment is the emotional punctuation to a game that stitches together legacy, mentorship, and succession. It's veteran respect meeting a rising star's breakout. Yahoo Teitao. So what does this mean for the Packers? For one, it's evidence that Love can deliver under spotlight moments. Tying a franchise record while beating Rodgers in Rodgers' first return to face his old team, that's headline material, and it's the kind of performance that shifts how opponents game plan for you. Love's accuracy streak wasn't just floodlight flare. It was a methodical dismantling of a defense that couldn't find an answer. That's dangerous. Packers. What does it mean for Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers? Questions get louder. Rodgers is still playing with elite instincts, but this loss exposes how fragile rhythm can be when pass protection breaks down or when a secondary starts giving up yards after the catch. The Steelers' defense, which had moments, ultimately couldn't hold the line late, and the offense couldn't sustain drives in the fourth quarter. If you're realistic, this is the kind of film that makes coaches rewind and say, where did we lose leverage? Where did we stop finishing? It's not personal against Rodgers, it's structural. The Washington Post look at the bigger ripples. Favre's public nod does two things. It crowns Love's night with a historical stamp, and it nudges the fan narrative from can Love be the guy to is Love already the guy? That's a fast pivot. For Green